Yeah, we might maybe just preview some of the games next weekend before touching on some of the hurling action from the weekend. So the Ulster quarterfinals, you've got Trillick versus Crossmaglen, you've got Games versus Erin's Own, you've got Gowna versus Naomh Conaill, and Scotstown v Kilcoo. So, I mean, Trillick v Crossmaglen, first of all. I mean, Tyrone Club versus Armagh Club, always a bit of rivalry anytime, Tyrone, Armagh come up against each other, even if it is two clubs coming up against each other. And it should pose to be a very interesting game. I mean, Crossmaglen, as we know, have looked very good in Armagh for the last for forever, really, for as long as I know. But it's been a while, really, since they went on any sort of run, really, in Ulster. It's definitely been a good while since they went on a run in Ulster. Coming up against Trillick, who obviously came through Tyrone. I mean, but I feel like it's kind of similar in some ways. It's been a while since we've seen either a Tyrone or an Armagh club do anything really significant in the Ulster Club Football Championship. So this is sort of like the perfect opportunity to get a win and progress on into the semi-finals.
It definitely is, yeah. It's going to be a huge game for both sides. It's going to be a very interesting game, I have to say. Trillick obviously proved nearly all the others wrong, beating Ergal Kieran. Like, especially without Matty Donnelly in the team. Like, they're going to be without Matty Donnelly this game too. So, like, but they still have Lee Brennan. He's a big scorer in that team. Rory Brennan, centre back. Like, they have some very good players, Trillick, but you'd still have to fancy Crossmaglen to go on and win it. Looking at the outside, looking at the odds first, you look at the teams, the selections, the management teams. You have to back the Armagh men to get over the line this one. And Crossmaglen, they have the potential, the looks of them, like Rian O'Neill, Cian McConville, Oisin O'Neill. They have some very, very good players all over the pitch, really. So you have to back Crossmaglen to go on and win this game. But like Cian McConville, Rian O'Neill, they didn't really step up against Ballybay last year in the Ulster Championship. It'd be interesting to see how they step up now this year against the Trillick team that they do well in the Tyrone Championship. Fair play. I think they've went on one Ulster Championship run in the past, but they didn't do much in it. So this is a big opportunity for Crossmaglen to get to the semi-final. I think they will. I think they'll get over the line in this. But Crossmaglen, if they're going to do anything with these good crop of young players that they have, including Cian McConville, they have to do it now.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, I haven't seen too much of them this year, but I remember watching them in that Ballybay game, and they did I think technically they've got some really, really good players. I think that goes without saying, but it was just physically they looked miles off Ballybay. Like, Ballybay, I just thought bullied them and out-muscled them in more ways than one. But yeah, I would back Crossmaglen, like, with some of the names and players that they have. I think they should have enough to come through Trillick, considering how intense the Tyrone Championship is compared to Crossmaglen coming through Armagh. But yeah, it could really go the entire way, and you wouldn't be surprised if extra time, penalties maybe comes into the equation here as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I suppose we're both backing Games to come through. Erin's Own, Carrigan. I mean, margin of victory, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go 5 points, actually. I think Carrigan will keep it tight. They'll keep it tight at the back, but eventually Games will get a penalty or something like that, or a goal, a scrappy goal, and eventually the floodgates might open towards the last few minutes. So I think between 5 and 8 points, I think Games should win that game.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it should be fairly comfortable indeed for Games. Gowna versus Naomh Conaill. I mean, Gowna are looking good. I mean, they scored 6 goals, was it, in the Cavan final? They're being tipped to maybe go on a bit of a run. Obviously, no Cavan club has ever won the Ulster Senior Club Football Championship, I believe. I'm sure John McMahon might correct me in the comments if he's still watching. But yeah, I mean, Gowna, I think this could be a real opportunity for them.
Big opportunity, yeah. And Naomh Conaill don't necessarily do well in the Ulster Championship, so it's a big opportunity for a Cavan club to make it on their own. And Gowna have some very good players. Like, they have the bands, I think, in that team. I think, what's his name? Matt McKeever as a wing back, as a player that I've heard about, has done really well. But to score 5 or 6 goals in any final is incredible. And to score it against Kingscourt is even better. Kingscourt team that have the likes of Jordan Morris in that team. So, look, this is a big opportunity for Gowna to go on and run. Like, Cavan club hasn't gone on a run in previous seasons. So this is a big opportunity for them to get over the line against a Naomh Conaill team that got over the line in Donegal. Fair play to them. But the Donegal champions don't necessarily do well in All-Ireland series or Ulster series, should I say, in years gone by. So, Gowna, this is a big opportunity for you. And I'd say most of the Cavan population, including John himself, would say, don't mess this up.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I might go for Gowna maybe to pull off a bit of a shock, bit of an upset there. Renee said here, when mentioning the Gowna's game, could you please mention Yana's 4-leaf closer fundraiser for a girl who sustained life-changing injuries on her way to work? Just look it up on Google. Yeah, I've definitely seen that being shared around quite a bit, and I think I follow a Cavan Club Championship page, and I know they've been sharing it quite a bit as well. So, yeah, look, I would recommend people to I was actually just having a look at it there, like 153,000 raised so far of 250,000 is the target they're going for there. So, yeah, I suppose if anyone could check that out, definitely go for it. I'll leave a link in the description as well if anyone wants to check it out. And Renee also says the Silver Fox Mark McKeever is known as. Looking at the last game in Ulster, Scotstown, Kilcoo. I mean, like when you look at what Scotstown have on paper, like I remember bigging them up a couple of years ago, like with the players that they have in Rory Beggan, Kieran and Darren Hughes. I think Conor McCarthy's in there as well. Like they have some serious players, but they never, like a lot of clubs in Ulster, they never seem to quite be able to get a cut of teams. And like I remember Kilcoo played them a couple of years ago, I think, and absolutely hammered them. So like it's hard to look past Kilcoo, really.
It is, yeah, definitely. Scotstown do have some very good players. I have to say the Hughes brothers are very good. Conor McCarthy is a very good player. They've most of the Monaghan team in that Scotstown side, and the big thing for them is to go on a run in Ulster, and they've probably been dealt the nightmare draw, one of the nightmare draws anyway in Kilcoo. How do you get over this Kilcoo team? The answer is you probably don't. You look at the way Kilcoo get over teams, the skill that they have, the temperament that they have, the sheer desire that they have. They're beating Scotstown. I think they're going to beat Scotstown. But Scotstown, if they are to win this game, they have to match Kilcoo's intensity. If they don't do that, good luck, good night. I think Scotstown, if they're up for it, are capable of doing that. The question is, do they have the temperament to do it on the day?
Yeah. So you're going for Kilcoo?
Yeah, I think Kilcoo will probably win this game by about 6 points.
Yeah, 6 points. Yeah, I suppose they are coming in very good form. Yeah, I'd say maybe a little bit less, 3-4 points maybe, but yeah, I probably would fancy Kilcoo to come through in fairness. But yeah, looking at two Connacht quarterfinals that is in action. Ballina, Stevenage v Fulham Irish, Culera, Strandhill v St. Bridget's. I mean, like, is there a shock? I mean, you would look at Ballina and St. Bridget's to surely come through both those two games. I mean, is there any world where, I mean, we don't know, like, imagine you don't know much about Fulham Irish. I certainly don't. Maybe if any London fans are tuning in, they can let us know. But I do remember, I think St. Kieran's given Turles Strand a good run for their money a couple of years ago, and they nearly came out with a win. But surely Ballina and St. Bridget's come through both those two games.
Yeah, I say so. The only thing I know about Fulham Irish, sorry to any Fulham Irish fans out there, but I know old Mulligan, the Tyrone legend, used to play for them. Yeah, that's all I know.
He's obviously not playing anymore, I take it.
No, he's not. It's he's a mad lad. But I'd say he's not going to play there anymore. I'd say the legs are nearly gone. I'd say he owns a pub in Liverpool, I think it is. So I think he's just going to concentrate on what he has up there. The other thing I recognise with Fulham Irish, to be honest, they have the same name as a soccer team in the Premier League, Fulham. So
here we go. Yeah,
you know, they might call on I don't know. They might call on Andres Pereira to take free kicks, or they might call on Tom Kearney or Issa Diop or Bird Leno to go in goal to shot to save a penalty from Evan Regan or whatever. They could do that, but no, I don't. Realistically, they're going to do that. Fulham, I think, have a game next week in the Premier League, coincidentally, so that's off the table. But yeah, I think Ballina should get over the line, and likewise with Bridget's. I don't know much about Culera, Strandhill. Fair play to them for getting over the line in a Sligo Championship that contains the likes of Turles Strand, who have provided a dynasty in that Sligo Championship over the last few years. But I think Bridget's, Brian Stack, Ben O'Carroll, I don't think Collier are stopping those two players. But he is mildly, so I think it'll be easy enough to call those games. So Bridget's and Ballina to get over the line there.
Yeah, same. I was going to say maybe they could put Mitrovic up top or something, but then I remembered he doesn't even play for them anymore. So there we go. but yeah, maybe he would have been an interesting footballer to throw in there. But looking at the Munster quarterfinals, Clonmel Commercials versus Newcastle West, Castlehaven versus Cratloe. Looking at Castlehaven, Cratloe, first of all, I mean, we were talking off air a little bit about the fact that the game's only going to have I think it only holds 600 people, the pitch or something like that. Is it that it's going to be in or something of that nature?
That's what I'm reading. The seats there in Mollavallahan, I think is how you pronounce the name of the pitch in Castlehaven. The seats there, the number of people in seats is 670, and then there's people standing around the place. So I don't know how many are going to stand there, but beware for Cratloe fans. This pitch is basically in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle, like you go towards Skibbereen, and then you pass a number of trees, and you get to the pitch. It's a great facility, Castlehaven's pitch, but it is in the middle of nowhere. It's a bit like if anybody has been to Owen Beg in Derry. It's very like that. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game to see who comes out on top there. You have to fancy Castlehaven if it is on that pitch, but let's not forget the Irish weather. Like if the pitch is going to be waterlogged, the game could be moved up to the city. It could be even moved up to Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and that could suit Cratloe. So it's kind of a game where it depends what weather you're going to get. If you're going to get a calm day, I think Castlehaven are going to win it. But if you're going to get a rainy day, the pitch might be waterlogged. You might have to move it to best case scenario, Clonakilty, worst case scenario, Páirc Uí Chaoimh. If you move it to Páirc Uí Chaoimh, I think Cratloe will definitely fancy their chances. But even if you move it to Clonakilty, I'd fancy Castlehaven. Look, Castlehaven should get over the line. They should. Simple as. They have the better players. They have the better coaches. They've been in a better championship this year. They should have been anyway. So I'd fancy Castlehaven to go on and win that game. And as for the other game, Clonmel and Newcastle West, going to be an exciting game. Really good game. Clonmel obviously have very good players. They have players that have a willingness to get over the line. Newcastle West, though, this is their third year on the road in the Munster Championship. So they'll definitely want to put their foot down on the Munster Championship this time round. Ian Corbett, I don't know, Keil Sheehan was back in the crowd, I think, for the Limerick final. Is he going to be back on the pitch next weekend? I'm not sure if he is. That's going to be a huge boost to them. Obviously, the young players that they have are Neville, Ruan O'Connor, Sean Geraghty, if they are to come on the pitch, are very good. Owen Hurley's a good free taker in there as well. So Newcastle West definitely have the temperament to get over the line against Clonmel. I'd probably tip it to Clonmel, though. This is going to be the tightest game of the weekend, I think. It's going to be a nip and tuck game, but I think Clonmel should get over the line, considering the fact that they lost to Newcastle West in that very venue, Thurles, last year. So Clonmel would not want to repeat that feat from last year. So I definitely fancy Clonmel to get over the line eventually in this game, and Castlehaven to win the other game.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, you'd probably imagine Castlehaven, Cratloe could be quite a low scoring game potentially as well, like with conditions and everything else. So it mightn't be the greatest spectacle to watch, but yeah, I'll go Castlehaven and Clonmel to come through it. But as we were saying earlier, maybe on last week's show, like Newcastle West did beat Clonmel the last time they played them, so you definitely wouldn't be surprised if they were to pull it off. But I do think Clonmel should have enough there, and obviously Newcastle West just won the county title at the weekend, and I've seen plenty of videos and images circulating, as you normally do when a team wins a county title. And I was seeing lads doing exams whilst out, out in the pub. But like, you love to see it, I suppose. Look, you gotta get it done. And I mean, can't say I haven't been there before, to be fair. Well, maybe not a Monday club now or anything of that nature, or winning county titles, but in terms of having exams and being in the pub, I mean, yeah, probably have been.
Desperate times come from desperate measures, are. But to be fair, I think the lecturers, the poor lads, I think Owen Hurley, the corner forward who takes all the frees for Newcastle West, actually put up that tweet, and I don't think the player doing it was actually happy that he put it up, but look, it is what it is. But yeah, but it is desperate. So you see some weird things on Monday clubs, don't you, Aaron? You really do. But to be honest, that was the weirdest thing I have ever seen. Like a player doing an exam during a Monday club. But look, they won the Limerick Championship. Do you have a Munster Championship next week? When else are you going to do the exam? Because you're going to do training sessions. You know,
Yeah.
that's what times come for desperate measures. But in all seriousness, I hope the player does pass his exam and pass his college course. So all the best to that Newcastle West player, and then you will get it done. Trust me.
Yeah, like my only thinking when I seen that was like, oh, like it's shared everywhere now. What if the lecturer sees it, or people within the college see it? Like that's the only issue really. But yeah, look, I'm sure it has been done before. To be fair, Denise says, what game do you think will be most entertaining coming up this weekend? Yeah, probably Trillick, Crossmaglen. I think has the potential to be quite a entertaining game. Kilcoo versus Scotstown could be a good game potentially as well.